Hello, my friend. Welcome to Breakfast with Sergio. In this episode, I want to talk to you about should artists have coaches? Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. I am not in my typical breakfast table, the one that you all know already. I'm actually in my recording studio. This is where I do my podcast. Here you can see the microphone where I do my videos. This is where I create a lot of the content outside of Breakfast with Sergio that you hear in the podcast, that you see in my video courses, and so on. This is where it all happens. And I love this place because over time I have been conditioning to be a great studio for me for video and for audio as well. Well, my friends, today I want to talk to you about should artists have coaches? Should artists have coaches for different areas of their life, in their life, maybe professional business coaching, maybe personal coaching, maybe spiritual coaching, maybe actually could be also studio coaching, whatever it may be. Should we have coaches? Should we all in general have coaches? Well, before I answer that question, let me tell you my own experience and how coaching for me has become something that I look forward to in various seasons of my life and in different areas of my life as well. So 4 years ago, I wanted to start my own podcast. I didn't have all this equipment. I didn't have all this fancy microphone and software and all that stuff to make my podcast, right? I had zero. I had no idea how to make a podcast. All I knew is that I wanted to have a podcast. It was four years ago. And I didn't know where to start. So I went to Google, of course, and I started Googling podcasts and how to start a podcast. And there were so many, resources and so many ways to start and so many recommendations for microphones and equipment and all that stuff. It was so overwhelming and confusing to know exactly how to do it. So I started to spend time, and then I realized, geez, it's going to take me forever to get all these done, and what if I'm not doing it correctly? What if I get something, but then I change my mind, it's not exactly what I'm looking for? So I started looking for a coach. I said, well, if I want to do this right, and I'm going to commit to do a podcast, and by now it has been 4 years already, so it was good start. If I want to commit to, do a podcast for the long run, I want to be really good at it. I want to know how to do it right. I want to know how to kind of talk about the podcast, how to present myself in the podcast, how to market the podcast, how to record it, what kind of equipment do I need, what kind of software do I need for editing, how to launch it, how to get it out to the public, everything that I need to know about the podcast, how to grow the podcast over time. So what I did is I started looking for a coach. I said, well, there's two ways of doing this. One, I can do it all myself. I can do all the research. I can spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure it out, and hopefully I'm doing it correctly. Or number two, I can go to an expert, right? Somebody who's been doing it for a long time, somebody who knows what he or she is talking about, and somebody who, can teach me how to do it. And that's exactly what I did. It's exactly how I started. And I'm so glad I did it, because in no time my podcast was out and was running, and it has been growing ever since. And it's very cool. So if you haven't checked it out, it's called The Artist Next Level Podcast. The Artist Next Level Podcast, you can find it in iTunes and everywhere else where you find podcasts as well. So the reason, coaching for me was so important is because I found this person who was doing a podcast not once a week, but once a day. He had a daily podcast that he had been doing for over a year by then. So he had over 360 episodes, and he was great at it. He was awesome at it. Now, he had also a coaching program. He had a program with courses, and he would teach you how to do it, how to get it started, how to get it going, how to grow it, how to do everything related to podcasts. So it was, for me, the perfect fit. And I love the guy. I love his style. I love his track record. I love the way he was teaching and the way he was talking about the podcast. And really, I wanted to emulate a lot of the things that were working for him so that they would work for me. And that's what I did. I joined his coaching program, and I was able to, create my podcast. And like I said, it has been growing ever since. And that's just one example in many ways in which I have used coaching myself in different areas of my life. I have also done spiritual coaching. I have done also business coaching, in new areas that I want to explore, online coaching, and also one-on-one coaching. And those are the ways in which, it has made a huge difference in my life, in my own career. With my wife, Dr. Janina, she has talked about it too when she wanted to write her book. This was last year. She, again, it was the same thing. How do you start, right? Where, once you have the idea for the book, and how do you get it off the ground, how you get it to the publishers, how you get it out in the world, how you monetize it, how you promote it, and so on. So that's what we did, right? She looked for a great coach, had an amazing program for authors, and that's how she was able to launch the book in no time. Beautiful book, so professional, so good, and now it has been translated to 3 different languages, and it keeps growing. So super excited for that. Her book, Moms Don't Quit, with Dr. Yaina Gomez, has been a great experience of using a coach to get where you want to be much faster than if you were just trying to figure things out on your own. So in that sense, my friends, I believe as artists, we should and we could, look for coaches in the areas that we need the most, the areas where we need to advance faster and further. Now, I'm going to give you like 5 things to look for when you're looking for a coach. 5 things to look for. Now, of course, disclaimer, my friend, disclaimer, you know this already, but I am also an art business coach. So I have my own program. So, that's the big disclaimer, right? Of course, I'm in favor of coaching. That's why I do it. That's why I've been a student as well. And that's why I'm also a coach to others. So, here's the 5 things to think about when you're looking for a coach. 1, track record. Can you find a track record outside of the person's website, right? That will help you, give you an idea of the experience that this person has in whatever topic of their coaching, right? Whatever it is that they're teaching or helping you with, do they have a track record? So very important about that, right? Number 2, do they have also experience today, right? Today, I've seen coaches in various areas where they say, well, I have, 30 years of experience in blah, blah, blah. However, the world 30 years ago is very different to the world today. Do they have the experience today or what it takes to make it today? They have experience of what's working today, the technology, the way the world functions and has changed today. Do they have that experience? So that's number 2. Number 3, are you comfortable with their style? Are you comfortable with their style of, of teaching whatever subject you want to learn about or whatever area in your life you need help with? Are you comfortable with that, right? In other words, do they communicate in a way that you understand it? Do they communicate in a way that you feel comfortable, that you feel like you are learning, right? Because there's a lot of ways of teaching, and I believe there are different ways in which we learn as well, very learning modes and learning styles. So, are you comfortable with the way they're doing that? Number 4, that I would highly recommend is, do they have in their program the things that will help you get to where you want to be, right? Do they have the resources? Do they have the accessibility in their program so that you can fit that with your lifestyle? Because we all have busy lives. We all have different, ways in which we manage our lives every day. So, mobility for some of you might be very important. Being able to access them online or in person or whatnot. Do they have what you need and what you're looking for? And last one, which I believe is also very important, is do they have support? Do they have support, for the content that they have? There's a lot of online courses that come without support. So that's not really as much as coaching, because that's more of a course that's out there. You buy the course and you watch it and it's great and you're done with it and that's over. But coaching is more like, a person who gives you the coaching, gives you the resource, but also helps you answer the questions that you have about it. And that is very important to have as well. So I believe, my friends, those are really 5 things to look for if you're looking for a coach in any area of your life, not only in art, but in any area of your life. And of course, my friend, if you want to check out my own coaching for artists, just go to the www.theartistnextlevel.com. Check out what we have there for you as well. And I hope to see you in the next episode of Breakfast with Sergio. I gotta go back to this content creation. We'll see you later. Have a great day. Please share it with your friends. Goodbye.